Pixar's making this new film called Elio. My first thought, looks like a Kroger commercial. Second thought is, who can pummel this guy into the ground because I don't want to see him anymore. I'm sitting there thinking, Frozone put him in the dirt, but I don't know. Wazowski's got hands, and Underminer's probably got a crazy ground game that you've never seen before that'll rock your freaking world. But I didn't know. I don't know how Insano style the Underminer goes, so I devised a way to quantify these character strengths to help guide my completely arbitrary and biased decision making, all in order to run a series of battle-busting, skull-crushing, laser-filled, Frozone dominated, pipsqueak, pummeling, Royal Rumble, you can't see me, stealth-stunting, space-time shattering series of combat situations. Enjoyed this video that I put all of my dollar bills and button and string into, and actually no dollar bills because I don't have any. The first category that each contender will be measured by is their health. So 0 on the health scale would be you can get one punch knockout. You have no durability whatsoever. 50 health would be normal human durability, you know, you can take a couple. And well, the big 100, 100, well, one could say you might be practically in mark. The second metric is a character's strength. 0 being you can, remove an older, frail woman from the surface of the earth. 50 is dad strength, above the average human, and 100 strength is your superhuman. You can break through a brick wall, no problem. The third metric is speed. 0 being you are pretty much immobile, 50 being Usain Bolt, no allows, cream of the crop human, and 100 being supersonic, 768 miles an hour. The fourth metric is stealth. 0 being clumsy, you're impossible to miss. 50 being you're a little shifty, you get there. 100 is concealed aura completely, you are invisible. The fifth metric is intelligence. 0 being you're a baboon, IQ of a 3-year-old child. 50, rational human average IQ. 100, excellent low, bro, you're a genius. The sixth and final metric is equipment. So 0 being you're, useful as the big beautiful bill in solving the national debt crisis. 50, you're useful sometimes, the equipment you have is valuable. And 100, it is your win condition. You are this equipment. As far as intangibles go, there are some outside of these metrics, like Frozone's powers, but we'll get into that stuff.
Alright, had your drink. Now, I want you to...
I know. Freeze.
Tell me what my suit is, woman!
The first character to be looked at under the microscope is Frozone, from Incredibles 1 and Incredibles 2. Now, as far as durability goes and health, he hasn't shown any super significant superhuman health feats in the movies. However, superhero whole thing, he gets a 60, right? He's slightly above normal human durability. As far as raw strength goes, he relies heavily on his abilities throughout the movie. However, as you saw, just the punch there sends a guy back. He could throw a punch. He's got, again, sort of the superhuman vibe strength going on. Another 60, above the normal human average. As far as speed goes, he's pretty cocky as he, aura fars between the enemies. He knows he can outrun the majority of everything, especially with the ice ability that complements that. Very quick, definitely faster than some of the fastest human runners. It's a 79 in the books for Frozone and speed. Now, stealth. He's a slick guy. This is kind of his whole vibe. However, he doesn't have any proven abilities to increase that, so he gets a 40, right? Almost, he's shifty, but can't give him too many points on that one. For intelligence, you know, haters hate to see an intelligent, young, accomplished black man in this economy. And it takes a lot of, you know, mental strain to conjure these ice structures in a strategic way, like he was turning the boat there. Definitely above average. For equipment, he has this one random sled from the first movie and his super suit. Not much, throw him out of 10. That's a strong 309, setting a precedent for a strong, solid character. His powers weren't taken into account of this, but this is that sort of intangible that I talked about. Oh, Jack is so cute, look at a little ice ball. Anyways, his powers will be taken into account when it comes to the battle simulations. Let's see who's next.
Sid Phillips.
I can see your will is strong. Well, we have ways of making you talk.
Sid Phillips. An odd case, perhaps someone to be underestimated, perhaps someone not. Health-wise, he's just a normal kid. 10 health. I mean, I could knock this guy onto the ground, conk him right onto the ground, and I don't weigh 50 cents. As far as strength goes, again, just a normal kid. Not really got much going for him, but compared to toys, you know, I'll give him a 20. And this is where we can start to see some of the glaring chinks in the armor of ominous characters such as Sid Phillips. However, he might have a better latter half here, and his speed, honestly pretty solid. That's the fastest he moves in the entire movie, and it was fight or flight for him. 30, not horrible. Under average, definitely, because he's got nothing on Usain Bolt, quite frankly. However, taking his further self into consideration, even the adult, I don't want to see anybody saying, well, you didn't take the adult, Sid. Shut up. Alright, I took it into consideration. This guy's got no stealth. He's got a black shirt on. I don't care. You have black forces? Maybe then we could talk slick talk, but apart from his physical attributes, you know, this character really shines in his intelligence and equipment. He's got some nice utility, and definitely takes a huge intellectual strain to craft those monstrosities. Let's see how he fares up against Frozone.
Lightning McQueen.
Listen, I'm gonna cut to the chase. Me, you, dinner.
What the? Ow! Ooh, please! Oh.
I know I get that reaction a lot. I create feelings in others that they themselves don't understand.
When I was drunk, we used to in school. I'm in a Hellcat who's stopping me. Mother Nature only thing probably.
Lightning McQueen from Cars 2. Famous character. Now, this guy's a car, right? So, obviously, he's going to have more durability and health than a human being. He gets a 60. You know, he headbutts Frozone, they both probably go out. As far as strength goes, it's a little bit tricky. You see him helping out Ramirez there in the Piston Cup. I'd say it's kind of based on his speed, but not really. So we give him a 40, you know, slightly under, because speed is where his moneymaker is going to be, right? Just because he's speed doesn't mean if he runs into something quick, he's not going to be able to harness that speed and turn it into strength all the time, because he would suffer from it. Like, he would crash, take damage. But the speed stat alone, superior, 90, bomb, highest in any attribute so far that we've seen. Absolutely wonderful performance there on the speed. Not quite breaking the speed of sound, but regardless. As stealth goes, come on, I'll throw him a 10, right? He's got some lines, but he's a car. You could see him coming from a mile away. He's big and red and loud because he has an engine. Intelligence, not the brightest tool in the shed, but competent enough to learn a language, right? A little dumber than your average human. As far as equipment goes, this is no Tomater, right? He's got some tires, maybe. Oil inside him, if he could sacrifice some. Gasoline, not really practical. Not a win condition. Throw out a 10. Let's see how he fares in battle.
Lotso Bear.
Daisy loved us all, but Lotso was special.
I hope you know we had everything, and you broke me and left these pieces.
Lotso Huggin' Bear from Toy Story 3. This guy is the definition of the indomitable human spirit, twisted in a villainous way. HP wise, throw him a 30. He's just a little bear. A little bit above average than the other toys in the movie at least. But, I mean, this guy, his ability to conjure and command others, use their strengths to first yield them and then wield them, very powerful. Him on his own though, strength, another 30. Under average of a human. He's just a bear. As far as speed goes, he remains sedentary for most of the movie until the final saga, in which he actually puts up a decent sprint. Again, in perspective of being a toy though, it's only a 20 points worth. About half the speed, less than half the speed that Usain Bolt or anybody could go. Stealth-wise, he's a toy, so he does get some credit. He ends up getting a 35 here, but he's a big pink bear compared to the other toys. He's no Buzz Lightyear. However, as I touched on his ability to conquer others, especially the monkey, somebody as infamous as that, to be able to get him under your control, oh my goodness, I can't imagine the element required for that. 67 intelligence, very high. I don't know how useful this is in a one-on-one deathmatch, but regardless, the stats are there. Equipment-wise, he's got a cane. That's it. Lowest score, 192. Let's see how he fares against the others.
Ready? Go! Merida.
Merida from the movie Brave. Possible to be a very strong champion in these battles. Health-wise, 20. I mean, she's just a gal. No incredible feats in the movie, and is honestly pretty small. However, strength-wise, look at that. Look at that crimp on that. Do you know how hard that is? That's a DEI strength. Strength through the roof. Come on. Come on. Keep going. Keep going. 70. Solid, very well above average of the normal human strength. She's almost there to the brick wall. As far as speed goes, she doesn't get her horse. That's not allowed. Again, these are one-on-one death matches. However, she's still pretty quick and swift on her feet, especially with that strength, but well under the maximum speed of a human. There's no incredible feats in the movies, so it's unclear, besides for speeds like this where she's running through the halls, which got a decent amount of stealth. There was that whole operation with her three brothers, but nothing, no abilities to force me to give her more than a 30 here. As for intelligence, she identifies her mother and her three brothers as bears, which it's fairly obvious that they are, but she's surrounded by a bunch of dummies. So, 50, rational human. Unlike my grandma, she is still all there. Equipment-wise, moneymaker, ramp it up, here we go. She's an expert with the bow. This might be some of the most mastery we might see. 85 mastery we might see in a single weapon.
Ready? Go! Joe Garner.
One, two, three, four, stay on the beat.
Joe Gardner from the movie Soul. He's a bit clumsy, right? He's just a normal dude. However, he does have his soul form. HP wise, his first phase, only 40. He's less than normal human durability. He's a quite pathetic guy, as it outlines in the first part of the movie. Strength wise, decent amount of strength. You see here in his soul form, outpowering one of the gods of the universe. However, hard to measure that. Still above. We don't know if that could break through a brick wall, but that was quite the resistance. 70 in the books for strength. Speed wise, this is the fastest we see him going in the movie. Soul form, I don't know how to quantify and measure how quickly he's traversing and what kind of dimension that is, but based off what we've seen, pretty speedy walker. 40, under average or not under average, but under Noah Lyles and Usain Bolt. Stealth, he's a slick guy. I mean, he dressed in all black, but that's pretty much the best you can get for a normal human is 15. Well under. Here we see his intelligence at work here. The reason he died, just being an absolute buffoon and menace to society, speeding through traffic. However, his ability to outchase and outsmart, outmaneuver gods? Come on now, that's an 80 all the way up there. Here he does something quite dumb. That equipment, I'm not taking that into account. With that weird wand, he doesn't get anything. He doesn't have anything. Don't give him more than he already has.
Huh?
Remy.
Remy.
Ramin from Ratatouille. Health, I mean, he's a rat. He's got little to no health. Throw him a 10. I mean, he doesn't get one hit combo. He could take a little bit of a crumpling, but he's a rat. He's a freaking rat. Strength-wise, we see him carrying this book, jumping out and bursting out a window. Pretty solid for someone his size. However, not sort of that human strength. Most humans can bust through that easy. I myself personally could probably freaking bust a freaking window here. Speed-wise, as we see him outmaneuver the whole kitchen in Linguini, he's quite techie when it comes to evasion, and this is considered in his overall agility, so he gets a 60, which is over the 50 point benchmark of faster than Olympic runners, because his agility makes up, throw him a few points there. Stealth-wise, extremely stealthy. You saw him, I barely even saw him in Linguini's hat there. Master, flames on the bar, 85. Craziness. I mean, this guy, you barely know he's there. Nobody knows he's there to the very end because he wants him to. Intelligence, able to easily manipulate Linguini into controlling him for his own motives, cooking with him. Above human average, because, I mean, Linguini's not the brightest tool, but still pretty impressive for his species. Equipment-wise, he can bring Linguini. It's allowed. Linguini counts as equipment. Obey your master.
Ready? Go! Bon voyage!
Bon voyage.
Monsieur incroyable!
She call me Mr. Bombastic, tell me fantastic. Touch me on me back, she says I'm Mr. Rowe.
Bon Voyage is somebody, along with the Underminer, who, in The Incredibles, gets away with it. Now, as you can start to see, he only gets a 40 on health. He's not a strong guy, and he's not a quick guy. So how is he a force to be reckoned with? That is what these later stats are for, to give these people a chance, because in 1v1 scenarios, they are formidable, and you should respect them. 30 in strength, he's only up to 70. But in the scenario, as you can see with Incrediboy and Mr. Incredible, he tries to sneak off. He doesn't care that much. He's not quick. He's just letting Mr. Incredible clutch him because he knows he can get out of this scenario in a different way, which comes in when we're talking about stealth. The only reason Mr. Incredible was able to find Bon Voyage in the first place is by pure luck from that stunt with the suicide attempt. Bon Voyage was going to get away with that bank robbery very easily. And he's a slick guy. He moves slick 85 all the way. As far as intelligence goes, again, I hate to give this to the French, but he's a pretty intelligent guy to be able to break into a bank completely undetectable. I assume he made his own bombs, or he's even smart if he just wants to buy them, because those are a perfect tool for the job. As you see when he blows up the bridge and clings a bomb on Incrediboy, he wasn't worried about this situation at all. That's why he was nonchalant. He's a force to be reckoned with. Let's see how he fares against this current situation with Frozone and Remy.
Ready? Go! Hank!
I don't work here.
Hank the Octopus is the slickest of the bunch. Health-wise, he is just a freaking octopus. Less than average human durability. I'll give him a 30 though, because he's not an ant. He's not a freaking ant. As far as strength goes, surprisingly pretty strong. We see him propel himself, the monkey bars throughout the movie, and even accomplish that last feat, jumping off the truck to secure Dory. Clear head, clear mind, always complements the body. Normal human durability is what he gets, is a 50. Speed. I mentioned this scene earlier. The agility to swing bar. Very impressive. He's a force. Again, this is a foe that people should be afraid of. Doesn't quite get the top speed there, so gets a 40, but again, very agile. Stealth-wise, you already know. Insane stealth. Undetectable if he desires. This stealth stat is going to be through the roof. 95. Almost completely undetectable, able to conceal his aura with his ability. Very nice. Intelligence. He was able to escape and drive a car under somebody like Dory's command. Dory doesn't give good directions, and he still freaking steered the car very good. 50. He's a rational human being. You might be thinking, if I'm glazing him, why didn't I give him more than a 50? Well, as you can see that scene where he turns on the garbage disposal, he's not something insane when it comes to intellect. 20 points for equipment. I'll throw him that just because he's able to utilize whatever's around him very efficiently. Let's see who's next.
Horst!
Horst has done time.
What for?
No one know for sure. He changes the story every time you ask him.
I robbed the second largest bank in France using only a ballpoint pen.
Roll with us if you really want to get it. This was provably on the wiki for Horst on his gravestone. This is a tough dude. 60, he's above the strength of an average human. Definitely a veteran, been in several fights. Strength, easily can restrain Linguini with one hand, not even looking. And he's even killed a man with one thumb, allegedly, but I definitely believe him. That's a 60 for strength. Probably close to a one punch, if I'm being honest, against most foes. Speed-wise, he's just a guy. He doesn't like to move, and he doesn't look super agile, as, you know, your joints and everything constrict, throw proper punches and stuff if you've been in so many fights. He's a little bit worn. Regardless, stealth-wise, this guy was able to rob a bank, and he just, you know, there's something about him. This is another intangible. There's something about him. He deserves some more stealth for that. Intelligence, he was able to poke a layer in the ozone layer. I don't even know what that means. 84 intelligence. Very, very high. Above the rational human. Equipment-wise, he definitely gets his kitchen knives. He's very skilled with those. Could come in very handy. 349. Let's see how he fares against Hank. Watch out, you better not cry, you better not tell, and you better cry more and run, because Eve is a complete demon. 90 health, as she's almost invincible when she condenses herself after Wally gives her a plant. I'm looking at these clips right now. She's blowing up boats. I don't know what other characters can compete with this strength-wise. Absolute army of one. 99, probably the strongest character we'll see today in brute force. She's already up to 189. That's crazy. Speed. Provably, I didn't want to give this to her because I thought she was going to be too overpowered, but she breaks the sound barrier in that clip. A little disappointed to find that out because I thought she'd just run this whole thing, but let's see. We'll see. I'm not going to spoil anything. It's another 99 in speed. Stealth-wise, she's big, she's mean, and she makes a sound when she floats around. And she's white. Like, there's just a very reflective color. 5 for stealth. Won't give her nothing, but I'm giving her basically nothing. And then in intelligence, she's programmed. She's not smart. Can't really think for herself. Sounds like most women, freaking women. And also I voted for Andrew Tate. Equipment, everything's already built in. She doesn't have anything that's already considered in the health, strength, and speed. Let's see what Horst can do.
Horst has done time.
What for?
No one know for sure. He changes the story every time you ask him.
I defrauded a major corporation. I robbed the second largest bank in France using only a ballpoint pen. I created a hole in the ozone of Ravignon. I killed a man with this thumb.
Randall!
Way to go, Bobs!
That's the last time I lose to you, Sullivan.
I'm all up in your face. All up in your range.
Villains aren't born. Villains are made. This is Randall Boggs from Monsters University and Monsters Inc. He gets one punched by Sully. Not really a foe when it comes to health. However, strength, he gets a few shots on Sully and has, you know, decent amount. His primary agility, stealth build, as you can imagine. But we'll give him some points for getting some taps in. Sorry, I'm just like enjoying the music because I'm doing the voiceover for this video, but the way I did it is I'm just like watching this as well. Stop breaking my immersion, bro. Cut that shit out. No more filler words. Not here for all that. Stealth-wise, he can go completely invisible. Another 95. only because it takes a little bit of time for him to activate that, so he can't do it absolutely immediately. Intelligence very low. As you just saw, he did a complete dumb move, and Sully and Mike and Boo were right there. However, he was able to track them down inevitably. 60 in the intelligence field, because he is a rational human being. He schemes, he plots, but he is lame. No equipment. He can bring the cupcakes if he wants to swoon his enemies, but let's see how he foes.
Whoa! Whoa!
When the moon hits your eye like a big pizza pie, that's amore.
In this relationship, Eve puts the stick in the box. Wally, as far as health is concerned, is not really durable. He's old equipment, but he's probably a little less than a human. He still has some metal he's composed of, but it is quite damaged. I would have liked to see what he was when he was first made. He was probably quite a unit to be deployed. Strength-wise, kind of bullies the little bots. He's got a decent amount of strength, and you're gonna see it catch on fire because he does have laser eyes. I haven't seen anybody anywhere talk about how he has laser eyes, but he can shoot lasers out of his damn eyes. So definitely a power up for that. Speed-wise, pretty speedy guy as well. Not as fast as Usain, but we'll throw him a 40. Very decent, as you saw. His navigation through the panic there. Stealth. He's a stealthy guy. He's got some maneuvers for a box, for a cube. Kind of has camouflage with his dirted metal, his plated metal. Intelligence, easily able to outsmart the other robots, which is impressive. He must have some sort of adaptive learning system. It's impressive for a robot. We'll throw him a 50. Equipment-wise, similar to Eve and Lightning McQueen, he doesn't have anything that's not already on him. Everything is kind of ingrained, so he doesn't get any equipment score. Let's see what he does in this situation against his beloved.
Ready? Go!
Wally. Wally. Whoa.
Professor Zundert.
Wunderbar. With Sphinx missile gone, who can stop us now?
Professor Zundert from Cars 2. Now this guy's a little bit of an interesting case because he is a car and he is somebody of intellect. So you would think he has really cracked stats. As you see, 50 in the HP, solid. However, when I was rewatching all his footage back, he's a wimp, dude. He's a little bitch. I'm not gonna lie. He gets a 30 for strength because, alike with McQueen, he can't really harness that without destroying parts of himself. And he's ultimately foiled relatively easily because it felt like there was no pressure on him, and then as soon as there was pressure on him, he instantly folded. Speed, he's like the slowest car in the whole Cars universe, but probably about as fast as the fastest humans. And as far as stealth goes, he's a car. He's a car, and he doesn't have any sort of swagger going for him. He's got that loud-ass engine going. And intellect, again, this is where he shines. He was the craftsman for those C4s and that whole bomb plot to blow up McQueen, to push some more macroeconomical things going on. So he's involved in the world, and he gets a pretty strong score for intellect. And however, equipment, I'll give him a 2. He gets a 2. 2 for his little monocle. Yippee! Let's see how this guy fares in the battlefield.
Ready? Go! Bruce.
Oh. Dory, are you okay? Oh. Oh, that's good.
It's really interesting rewatching some of the older movies, because last time I saw Nemo before researching for this video was a long time ago. Bruce, obviously a shark, very strong, very durable. Same with his strength, highly dependent on the environment, but he's got the muscle. And I begun this segment with it being interesting because this whole segment with him is Alcohol's Anonymous. I just had no idea what that even was. But he has some incredibly quick feats in here. He's a pretty swift guy for how big he is, but that is because of how strong he is. Highly dependent on the environment. In the battle simulation, there will be water to kind of let him shine, and the battle environment will adjust to what everybody else's, best self can be. Stealth, he's not really got too much going for him other than the natural white belly at the bottom, so prey think he's blending in with the top, but he's at the bottom of the seat, so it doesn't really matter. Intellect, this guy is easily take advantage of blood. He loses all rationale and chases Dory and Marlin maliciously and bloodthirstily. Equipment, he's got none. He's a shark. So let's see how this deranged but strong fish goes into battle.
Mabel.
Quand il me prend dans ses bras, il me parle.
Mabel from Ratatouille. I think the only champion on the list to have a firearm. Merida had that bow, which was really strong. This lady's got a shotgun. Health-wise, she's a frail old woman. Previously mentioned, can be easily put into the dirt from some of these characters, but her attack stance can be quite formidable. For that reason, her equipment score is probably going to be pretty high here. Strength, again, frail old woman, it's going to be 20. Speed-wise, something very similar. She's even got the whole Germany gas mask, gas sprayer combo going on, which only begs the question is how deep her bag really is. I wish this character was expanded upon a little bit so we could probably see her true power, but Remy narrowly escapes. Narrowly. And that was, because of the diversion of his friends. So I'd be interested to see how this would go if it was just a one-on-one Remy versus Mabel. But she'll be facing Bruce. We'll see how this will go for her. Not the brightest of the bunch. As you see, she stupidly mistakes an umbrella for the shotgun. But she's still a rational human, right? She sees all these rats. I should stop this rat infestation in my house. And here comes the equipment score as she throws out these gas grenades. 75. Pretty solid. Let's see if the shotgun can help her old, frail little body.
Ready? Go! Rocky Gibraltar.
Woody, hi, quick!
You know him. You might know him, you probably don't know him. Rocky Gibraltar. This guy is the absolutely shredded toy from Toy Story, and when I took a deep dive into him, I realized that he actually is not in the movie almost at all, and I just thought this Rip toy would be crazy. Strength stat of 65, this is his specialty, but he is a toy, and look at him confidently with that swagger strut on. He ended up not being as strong as I thought he was. Not too many incredible feats. He couldn't even hold back all the children from walking into the door with the army men. He just got belittled and lost a ton of aura, getting slammed into the wall. But he pockets a little bit of change when it comes to stealth because he is a toy. So he flies under the radar of a lot of people's danger sensors, equipment-wise. He didn't get anything. Hopefully this guy's in Toy Story 5.
Void.
Void from The Incredibles 2 is one of the most frustrating characters I've seen in any of the Pixar films because her ability is limitless and so cool, and she kind of wastes it health-wise. She gets bodied by Violet in their fight and also Miss Incredible, so she's not super strong. Violet doesn't have a lot of battle experience, that's why she's not even on this list, and Void still loses to her. However, I still believe in the ability. I still believe the potential is there, and especially on a one-on-one scenario against someone who she's more focused in on in a battle simulation, I feel like it can thrive. Speed. Her portals allow pretty much instantaneous speed. Pretty much. She has to rely on gravity, which takes a minute to start up, so only a 70, but the same chain of logic can be applied to stealth, where she can't instantly teleport somewhere completely undetected, so it doesn't get a 100. However, it gets a strong 70 because there are those couple drawbacks. Big teal portal, nonetheless an effective tool. As far as intelligence goes, she's gotta be pretty creative and pretty on top of it to conjure those portals in different scenarios optimally, so she gets a 60. Doesn't use them super well, doesn't prove that, but nonetheless a 60. Then we'll throw her 5 equipment for the suit. Let's see if she could take down Mabel.
Ready? Go! Mater.
She's a town attorney and my fiancée.
What?
Just kidding. She just likes me from my body.
Cheap out of flight, nigga can't even see me on way out of here. I'm too far in the sky.
Toe Mater, the GOAT, dude. I love this guy so much. Such a blessing to the Cars movie. Starting off with the average car health of 60. He's got that whole rust bucket feel like Wally does, but he's a lot bigger, a lot sturdier, and he runs on oil, which is very nice. 70 strength because, as you saw, he knows ninjutsu. He's a lot in his toolbox. Speed-wise, one of our fastest characters here today because he is a demon when it comes to his equipment that he's been installed with the Spy Corporation that he joined, even faster than McQueen and Francesco. 88 for speed. Stealth-wise, despite that spy title and his insane ability to drive backwards, he gets like a 5. He's still a car, he's still a loud engine, and he's got a loud mouth on him, which is why we love him, and we all freaking love him. Speaking of which, why we love him, he taught me personally to not have wasabi ice cream, and despite this dumb decision, by Finn, he's still...
Spy or not, you're still the smartest, most honest chap we've ever met.
Which is a huge compliment coming from that guy. That guy has had tons of battle experience, been in the spy corporation for a long time. Mater gets a 73. He's the only one that figures out how to defuse this bomb at the end of Cars 2. Insane. As far as equipment go, I'll give him 10 for the hook, but everything else is pretty built in.
You know, I once knew this girl, Doreen. Good-looking girl. Looked just like a Jaguar, only she was a truck. You know, I used to crash into her just so I could spoke to her.
What are you talking about?
I don't know.
Finn missile.
Finn McMissile. Similar topic coming right after his bud Toe Mater. Starting off with 60 health, the default car amount of health. You know, more than a human. That's fine. Take a couple punches, take a couple shots, he'll be alright. As far as strength goes, doesn't have insane durability, but he's a car. Solid car, classy car, old car. He's chilling. And Finn, I will say, already up to 110, is pretty stat padded compared to the others. And that's also speaks to how much battle experience he's had. Because, again, there's not a lot of things that are captured with only stats, only looking at each person's abilities and putting them through this sort of measurement system. But the fact that he's fought all these times in the movie, and there's all these scenarios and acts of his to study from, he ends up being pretty good in all categories. As you see, stealth for a car, 45 is insane. He knows how to keep his engine volume low, keep the hum low, and intelligence is another place he shines. He still thinks Mater is smarter than him, but they go together really well because they have this complementary thing where Finn knows everything practical immediately. He tricks Zundap's lackeys and fakes his death without breaking a sweat, and it's like a 1v200 there, and he's just out of there. Pretty intelligent, but couldn't put him more intelligent than Mater because he gave him the compliment. As far as equipment goes, those bombs are the only thing that I found of his that dispose other than like the tires and stuff, but he's got a lot of equipment. This is a 376, ladies and gents, a 376 power level.
My G.
Abominable snowman.
It's gay? Snow cone?
No, don't worry. It's lemon.
It's lemon. It's lemon.
I said earlier, Mike's got hands. You might think, man, Sully is a character that has missed out on this list. Well, let me tell you what. Abominable Snowman is stronger than the both of them combined. Easily. And he'll prove himself, as I'm sure you're pretty wary he has to go up against Mater and Finn McMissile. Quite the tall task, but he's already up to 160, 80s in both health and strength. This guy's a beast. The big bad King Spider in Monsters University banished him to these lands for a reason. They couldn't handle him. Yeah, and you know, he is a very intimidating creature. Monster. He's got a decent amount of stealth for how big he is too, because his wool blends in with his environment. It's very tricky and can slip up a lot of players, especially new players. When it comes to intelligence, can't differentiate a lemon snow cone from a urinated, pissed on snow cone. But he's still intelligent enough to read the room and form sentences, so it's a solid 40. Equipment, don't got anything going for him. Let's see if he could answer in this tall task.
Ready? Go! Syndrome.
I mean, after all,
I am your biggest fan.
Buddy?
My name is not Buddy! All I wanted was to help you.
Letter of recall. I hope you know I ripped all of your pictures off the wall. I love you, Slim. We could have been together.
Syndrome. Probably a lot of people's top pick when it comes to looking at this list in the character select screen. This guy could take it all. His zero tech energy can revolutionize the game, especially on a one-on-one, as he humbles Mr. Incredible and his family. Although there are plenty of weaknesses that this guy has. His HP low. He's a wimp without his technology. Same with his strength. Couldn't even pull Jack up. That was, his arms were fully locked out and he's just relying on his rocket boots. That's just a small bit of metal. As far as speed goes, same thing. Without his rocket boots, this guy's nothing. And it's probably good. I probably should have mentioned this earlier. These battle simulations don't totally reflect what's going to be the ending leaderboard. For example, Abominable Snowman, I'll be a little bit more charitable in my considerations and judgments towards him because he was up against Mater and Finn. That's just how the simulation panned out. I don't control that. That's just the rules, man. So I do understand if somebody gets out, like Frozone still could end up the winner. He won like 3 battles. That's impressive. But you know, gotta cycle through. You can only get so many people. Syndrome may be one of those guys. He's got some crazy intellect, developed this crazy technology, buffs his score nice and juicy for me, but he's up against Mater and Finn. We'll see how he does. We'll see how he does. Probably the most equipment heavy person on here. See what he can do.
The Underminer. Behold the Underminer! I am always beneath you, but nothing is beneath me!
Know that time costs us money. Diamonds come in abundance. Took you backstage for shot it. I just want you to love
The Underminer! Biggest crime lord in the king of the underground of Metroville. This guy is crazy. The gap between in the cliffhanger we were left on with the first Incredibles movie all the way to wait for this guy's arrival in the second movie. The best part, he gets away with it. Easily handles Mr. Incredible like he's taking his lunch break. Takes the money, dips out. Not only does he do damage and doesn't even care, he does damage to the city, damage to people, he doesn't freaking care because he just loves money. He also goes unscathed and uncaught and unseen, only to leave fans theorizing, dreaming of his return. If they ever make an Incredibles 3, I'd like to see his return. I love to see what he can do, because, I mean, you throw this guy in any scenario, he's going to come out on top. He's got it all going for him. He's got a nice base structure. Might not be the speediest, but as you saw in that clip, secretly very intelligent. I don't know where he got that uranium sort of substance to power his drills, but all of this tech, very homemade, spelunker at heart. I want him to kick Syndrome's ass so bad. Doug, please. They took my boy Mater out. You gotta do something about it. Please, man. Please. But yeah, another solid character. Let's see how far he can run with it. Formidable foe.
Ready? Go! Check, check.
something for the shooters and back and forth commuters who never knew the difference in laws and jurisprudence. I feel as though it's safe to.
Timmy was an average kid. Jack, on the other hand, is far from it. With abilities coming from a superhero family, this little tough guy can pack a punch. Drawing from information based off his raccoon fight, we can see he is almost invincible. Doesn't take a scratch of damage throughout all of his appearances in the movie. As far as strength goes, the Demon Baby ability enables him superhuman strength, in addition to his Gigantify ability and fire abilities. But wait, there's more. For his speed abilities, he can almost transport instantaneously, accessing the subspace and breaking time itself. In addition to this, he can also go into his gigantic baby form previously mentioned to accelerate his pace, his speed, and overall strength. Speaking of his interdimensional travel ability, it increases his stealth if he's able to use it quite a bit. However, he's just a baby. But this is what so many fans love about Jack, his humorous scenarios that he gets involved in, although being superhuman, are still similar to an adolescent of the real world. Yeah, sorry about that. I wanted to channel my inner watch mojo, and I wanted to see if I could, let me know if you thought that was like AI script generated. That was my best attempt at it. Off dome. Anyways, Jack, very formidable. This guy's crazy. I'm showing his powers in the background right now. I think there's like 9 of them confirmed, but I don't know. He could take it all. I actually do know as of this moment, but I'm not going to say anything. Equipment. This is where all of his power points come in. It's going to be off the charts. Oh, I feel bad for anybody that stands in this guy's way. This is a little crazy. He's a little busted.
Ready? Go! Pulse Lightyear.
Buzz Lightyear, my guy, somebody who I looked up to when I watched Toy Story because he was green. Honestly, he ends up being not as impressive when compared to people from like the Incredibles universe, which is a little unfortunate because of how great he is in the Toy Story universe and how powerful and a force he is. But he only gets 30 and 40 for health and strength because he's a toy, man. And although he's super agile throughout this whole movie and super creative with his techniques and stuff, he's just a little guy. And when it comes to one-on-one scenario, and I imagine even somebody like Sid Phillips, Sid could just like kick him. And it makes me a little disappointed. Like, I wish I could sit here in front being like, well, Buzz could actually take him on, probably. I genuinely did try really hard to keep everything accurate, even if my voiceover on everything doesn't seem in depth of the thought process. When I was recording all these values and implementing them, there's a lot of thought process that went into them, of only pretty much mine. So if you have anything you want to dispute, let me know. But probably the stealthiest toy there is, because he's pretty slick. As far as intelligence goes, again, very creative problem solver with how to get from point A to point B. This guy's awesome. Spanish Buzz and his laser will throw him a 20 for that ability and that the laser pointer. We'll see how this final battle saga turns out. If you made it this far, thank you for watching. I had fun recording this. I hope you had fun watching this if you didn't randomly skip to this part. And even if you did, I hope you will enjoy this final reveal of the winner.
To infinity and beyond.
The winner is... Check, check.
Let's go. I'm thinking of doing, I don't know, maybe some Nintendo next, maybe some DreamWorks, Megamind, Kung Fu Panda, you know, get them involved. There's a lot more cool movies to pick from with a lot of those guys, but hey, that's just some theories. A series of movie theories. Doesn't quite have the same ring to it. But still, thanks for watching.